Good evening. Welcome to M1's English Language News, Hungary Reports. I'm Hajnalka Tóth, back with our 10-minute news report on Hungary and the Carpathian Basin. Let's get started. The government has allocated almost 6.5 billion euros for family support in next year's state budget. This sum is more than 2.5 times as much as family support spending in 2010. The State Secretary for Family and Youth Affairs said that the government is planning to support childbearing with yet another form of support next year.
Young newlyweds receive a sum of 28,000 euros to spend on anything they'd like. This so-called prenatal subsidy is one of the most popular measures of the Family Protection Action Plan launched a year ago. The numbers show that almost 100,000 couples have already applied for it. The car purchasing program for large families, the introduction of the grandparent child care allowance, and the personal income tax exemption for mothers of 4 or more are all part of the Family Protection Action Plan. The program also includes the ongoing nursery development and construction in the country, so that any parent who wishes will be able to take their child to a daycare center by 2022. In 1 year, the government supported 200,000 families with about 2.55 billion euros. The Family Protection Action Plan continues. The State Secretary for Family and Youth Affairs stated. Katalin Novak explained that from July, the driving theory course and test as well as language exams have been made available free of charge to those raising small children. He added that new subsidies would be made available to families next year, like thinking of grandparents, the reintroduction of the 13th month's pension. Next year, there will be a new element of family subsidies that's never before been done in the world. The newborn care support will rise so much that working mothers who would like to have children will receive more money in the first 6 months of their child's life than they earned before while just working, the State Secretary said. The communications director of Fidesz said that the government would plan to maintain the Family Protection Action Plan, the home creation benefits, and the family tax system. The government will allocate more than 6.5 billion euros for this purpose next year.
Almost 4,000 businesses could receive the funding they won for tech developments through the Economic Protection Action Plan by the end of August. The State Secretary of the Ministry of Innovation and Technology announced. László György also said that job market data is increasingly promising, and the support that companies receive to be able to keep their employees will be available until August. He reminded that this has been the 3rd week in a row that more people found new employment than the number of people who lost their work. Because of the novel coronavirus, retail trade turnover in Hungary dropped by 2.1% in May compared to a year earlier. According to the Central Statistical Office, food sales showed a slight increase, but fuel sales dropped significantly by almost 14%. The State Secretary responsible for trade policy and consumer protection said that retail sales are starting to rise from the low point they were in because of COVID-19 in April. Central Europe was not on the radar for Americans for a long time. They only knew about Eastern Europe, but thanks to Hungary and the V4s, Central Europe is on the map. The U.S. ambassador to Hungary said in an interview with a local New York radio station on Sunday. David Kornstein spoke approvingly of the Hungarian government for listening to the will of its citizens, not letting in illegal immigrants, and for keeping Hungary Hungarian. As the ambassador put it, Hungary is a magnificent country that should be well known and treasured.
I describe Hungary as basically the best kept secret in the world. It's a magnificently beautiful place. It's breathtaking, really, the country and the city of Budapest. The people are warm, they're fun, they're nice, they're happy. The food is fabulous. The wine is 10 times better than the food.
There was huge interest in the electromobility program. The 14 million euros of financial support was gone in 36 hours. More than 1,700 people applied for funding to purchase electric cars or motorcycles. The winners will be notified in about a week. The new vehicles will also feature an environmental protection sticker. You can travel more than 300 kilometers in this vehicle, which is also possible to fully charge in just 60 minutes at certain stations. With the end of the electromobile support program, manufacturers are expecting a rising interest in car showrooms. Customers are currently waiting for their tenders to be accepted, and as soon as they receive them, they will contact us to purchase cars with the sum they are given. We are well prepared. We have cars that fulfill the criteria stocked, Director Kálmán Ungi said. The cars and motorcycles purchased with this financial support will have a sticker on them that says Climate-Friendly Hungary. 1,700 people signed up for the 14.2 million euro support program. Half of the applicants were individuals, while the others were companies and taxi drivers. The government spokesperson explained that the Hungarian state is doing everything to establish a greener and more livable environment. However, these efforts have to be made in a way that they don't burden people with additional costs. Besides increasing electromobility, important goals also include the elimination of illegal landfills, cleaning our rivers, and the decision made in Parliament last week to ban non-reusable plastic in the future, Alexandra Szentkirályi said. Applicants chosen to receive electric car support will be notified until the 13th of July. Many of them could receive more than 7,000 euros. The possible expansion of the budget, as well as the launching of additional tenders, will be decided upon after the evaluation of current data. Hungary is having the worst acacia honey crop it's seen in the past 50 years. Bad weather conditions caused a lot of damage to the industry. Almost 80% of Hungary's acacia trees were damaged by frost, and heavy rain also caused problems. Hungarian beekeepers say that the upcoming sunflower bloom is their last hope.
This is where the current honey-making season stands in Hungary. 2/3 of the season have already gone by this year. Experts have already determined that this is the worst year of the past decade. The cool and drought-stricken spring and the heavy rain that followed equally hurt the honey yields. The acacia honey crop this year, for example, was only a fourth of the usual in an average year. In terms of linden, the yields were also below average. Several other well-known honey-bearing plants didn't give any nectar at all. When acacia tree buds flourish, then it's the flowering buds that come out first. They are most often damaged by frost. That's what caused the biggest problem. It's what happened this year as well, Tamás Kutasi said. Acacia honey is the most well-known and most sought-after honey produced in Hungary. Alongside many of its physiological effects, it's also recognized because Hungary has the most extensive acacia stock in Europe. The president of the Beekeeping Association told M1 News that the dismal crop this year has a significant effect on the export market as well. The global market price of acacia honey grew by 60%. Currently, the buying price is at a high point since Western European consumers are willing to pay a price that domestic consumers might not be able to. For example, a French, Austrian, or German customer might easily pay 12 euros for a jar of acacia honey, but Hungarians might not be willing to pay 4,000 forints for it, Péter Boros said. According to Péter Boros, sunflower blooming season in the coming days is Hungarian beekeepers' last hope. Sunflower fields in Hungary boast a territory of 600,000 hectares. Sunflower honey is said to have restorative, disinfecting, and anti-inflammatory effects, which make it a popular choice.
One of the most beautiful relics of the Hungarian countryside's Baroque architecture is in Széchenyi in Nógrád County. The Forgvar Castle was named after Zsigmond Forgár, a border fortress captain and the county's Lord Lieutenant. He and his family built the castle in the 1700s. The building and the grounds are a visitor favorite year-round. For anyone who would like to explore the great outdoors, visiting the Ormánság in Baranya County is something to consider. The Ősdráva Visitors Center, a true crossroads for nature and tradition, is also there, with lots of fun activities for families. Visitors can also participate in bird-watching excursions or get to know the traditions of animal housing and farming. That's all for today. Catch the English news every day around 11:20 p.m. local time or stream it anytime online. Coming right up are M1's other foreign language news broadcasts. Thanks for watching. Good night.